Okay, we talked about MU earnings tonight. All right, I'm still in a couple. I only had a couple call up. I think I had like 2 or 3, and I sold one yesterday. So I'm not in this big, even though I have a $99 price target here for you. I think I'm going to continue playing this today, and I might even make an ER bet. This has come down so much, and the sentiment is so bad. I think there's going to be a low bar. There's like analysts have been downgrading the price targets over the past month aggressively, but they all still have buys, and they all still have price targets well above where we're at. It's just basically they're like, okay, instead of 160, we're at 120, or instead of 180, we're at 140, or instead of 150, we're at 120. All right, because something with the DRAM memory market or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert in the area. I know that their AI business is why I'm interested in this, and the AI memory business is booming. Might not be enough to offset the traditional business, and that's what's going on here. That's why all the analyst downgrades. But the sentiment is so poor. I mean, it'll just take maybe even inline. Maybe they don't even need to beat. I don't think they need to beat, honestly, because of this. So this might actually be a good ER bet. I was hoping for $99 today. Maybe it's still possible, but I think it might be worth an ER bet. Could see some explosive price action if they merely meet expectations. Guidance will be more important, though. We'll see what they say about guidance. So these are the top 5 picks for today. Oklo, number 1 for now. And we got RCAT, Dash, Summit, and then MU, the low-hanging fruit. Hopefully, we see a pump towards the close, and then maybe take an earnings bet too. All right, guys, good luck today. One of the top picks in our community, MU. MU has earnings tonight, and I made a kind of prediction this morning that, first of all, for the last 2-3 days, we've had this on our radar as a top pick, as an event anticipation run towards that 50 DMA by the close today. 50 DMA is at 98.39. I actually think that may not even be out of the question for today. But I think something else here. Look at this thing. Down from 157 to 95 or whatever. Analysts have been cutting their price targets like crazy over the last couple months, but they still have buys. They still have overweights. They just cut their price targets from 150 to 120, for example, something like that. They got big AI tailwinds, but some concern about pricing in the non-AI memory business. I think tonight for MU, all you have to do is meet estimates. You don't even need to beat. I think if you meet estimates, the stock explodes. I'm going to pause there. Get the Godfather's feedback on that. I know you entered the trade as well today.
Yeah, so I've actually been picking away at it around this 90 level, which looks like a good level on the charts. But like you said, I focus more on the fundamentals. And, here you have a name that's trading around 10 times 25 earnings. So, yes, there's been some market consternation, and there's been some concern about NAND and DRAM pricing, which is still the bulk of the business here. But there is a ramp in HBM, high bandwidth memory. And it's this relationship with NVIDIA that's the focus of the market. And that's really what's going to drive sentiment, which is really what's going to drive multiples from here. And so I think there's some real support at 10 where we're at. So it seems like an asymmetric risk reward. If you extend that out on an EV to sales basis, you're under 3, and on an EV EBITDA basis, you're under 20. So it's reasonable valuations across the board. You're going to see HBM go 5x from what we saw in the previously reported quarter going into Q1 2025. They're completely sold out in all of 24 and 25. I know the market, when they reported last quarter, was a little bit, they were sitting there going, well, why have you contracted all of this out when you're completely sold out? That's just the way the nature of this business and the way it works. And it's a cyclical business ultimately. Which is another reason why I like this trade, because cyclicals obviously respond well when you get interest rate cuts. So, this is an extremely cheap call on AI, which is where the growth and sentiment drivers for the multiple are going to come from. And just look at top line here. If you look at consensus estimates, you're looking at an almost 50% increase from 25 over 24. So it strikes me as a good risk reward here around the $90 level. I own the common and I own some $90 strike calls. Some of that is from my trading bucket, and some of that is building a long-term position. So that's my take on Micron from the fundamental standpoint.
Awesome, sounds good. Picks. And then during the day, Tesla. Wow, we gave you a timely prediction on Tesla at 193. I think the breakout level is like 192.80, something like that we called out in the morning, that if it breaks that level, boom, game on. It did break that level, and I added Tesla back personally in my retirement account, and we added it to the model portfolio, which we'll go over in just a second, at 193 with a target of 199 to 207. This is so easy. This breakout was like, are you kidding me? That was the most obvious thing. Like yesterday I was talking about, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like guaranteed to hit at least 198.87 and very likely to hit that 200 DMA. I gave it a timeline. I'm like, either today through Tuesday. And it looks like it could very well happen today. So Tesla, happy to be back in my retirement account after being out of it for some time. So Tesla looking good. Those are the two big levels, 199 and then roughly 207. If you dig in, you can see. Let's move on. All right. Tesla, we added this. What a beautiful chart. We gave you two targets. The first target hit on Friday. That was the top of this candle here, 198.87, 199, I think we rounded up to. So we got that first target for you, 199 on the second target was the 200 DMA. This candle right here, that would be 217.80. We're above that right now. The next what's that next candle there on the weekly? The next candle is 223. So this looks like it's getting the 220s. 230.96 might be in play here. ASTS, man, am I stoked about this right now. Look, I've been wrong for the last week or so, but I think the bottom's going to be today or Monday morning. So this is more of a swing, not necessarily a day trade, although it could work out today. All right. I can't do the whole fundamental review of this. I would just say the reason I like it today is two things. Because we bounced off $23 support in early pre-market, overshot at $22.82. $23 was the high right there before this big inflection on ER. Okay. So I have a simple kind of rule. We always know previous resistance is now support. I get it. But the way to logically think about that, if ASTS was worth up to $23 before the inflection point news, shouldn't it be worth at least $23 after the inflection point news? That's the way I think of it, because I'm thinking about the market psychology of other participants. Other people are looking at this, and I think that's the calculation they make more than a technical analysis, right? However, there's been dilution since then, all right? There's warrants that are being redeemed. There's an ATM running. So in terms of market cap, the market cap's actually higher at $23 today than it was over here on August 9th. So it could potentially overshoot. But the other thing that we have going for us is the warrant redemptions is ending today. Okay, ASTSW is going to be delisted today. And look at this. Look at this opportunity. If you're like $12 to $3 to $13. After 5 p.m. today, this will be worth a penny. I think maybe someone in early pre-market got worried about that. Potentially, they missed the deadline because some brokers, apparently, they don't let you redeem until 5 p.m. today. You have to do it a day early at some brokers. So maybe someone got some bad news and they're like, oh, shit, I'm only getting a penny at 5 p.m. today. Let me sell this for whatever I got. But, oh, my gosh, crazy stuff going on in ASTSW. And it is a fact. We've seen some anecdotal evidence that some people have been selling their common stock in order to fund the purchase. They have to spend, I think it's $11.50 per warrant to get it converted into common shares. They have to upfront that cash. So people have been selling the common shares to do that. That whole mechanics ends today at 5 p.m. And I think we may also get a press release from the company on Monday updating on that potentially, or at least an SEC filing. Actually, I heard there was one last night with some information on that. Anyway, huge short position. When it has a green day, it tends to be a very big green day. I think I put a prediction in there that in our community that we could have a 10% move today or Monday or Tuesday, imminently, a 10% move coming up. maybe a little bit more to about 27 or so. So ASTS, top of my mind. I think that let's not make the mistake today. To me, Axon is similar to Uber in that regard, right? $22 billion company here. They beat and raise all the time. They have great analyst coverage, and they beat and raised again by 6% this time. So it's right on the re-rating value, 6% right now, plus 6%, which is the magnitude of their beat, Axon. And this is the company that does cameras, body cameras for police. But really, I think the business is so good because of the recurring revenue model from evidence.com. Man, I used to be in the stock back when it was Taser years and years ago. All I had to do was to keep my Taser position, which was probably at like, $10 or something, and never come to work ever again. That's up 30 times. All right. Anyway, Axon this morning, with the re-rating of 6%, takes it right to a candle resistance here of 314. All right, takes it right there. That's a candle resistance. I opened a 4-pillar trade idea on this as a day trade. All right, you have 20 DMA, which is both going to act as a support and a gap and go level. So 304.74. I'm not sure we see that level again today. If we do, that's an area to buy. If we get a gap fill here, that's an area to buy as well. The gap fill being yesterday's high. Oh, what's wrong with my, that's there. So 299. So both of these are support and buy levels. I have that in the note on the 4-pillar trade idea for today. Then you got resistance right where we're at now. Again, the candle resistance, which coincides with the 6% move around 313. And then I gave you targets of 326, basically, the recent proximal high. And maybe it can make a move to the all-time high, 330. So this one's in play with a very wide range. All of these levels I gave you, basically from 299 to 330. All right, 299 to 330 with a bias to the upside, with a bias of buying the dips and buying the support levels. Gave you a day trade on this. It's a good company. You can probably swing it. I just kind of, like sometimes I miss out on high PE stocks like Palantir as well. So forward PE on this is 65. If you analyze the numbers that they just reported yesterday, it's like 70 or 75, something like that. So great company, Axon, great company, Palantir, great company.
It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, and yesterday was a really, really wild day in our community. If you were with us yesterday morning, you saw our NIO pick. NIO we added as a swing to long-term pick the night prior, and we had a big move yesterday and again today, up 5% yesterday, up another 4.7% today as China is booming. But first, let's just take a look at the macro situation. There was some significant data moving markets here this morning. ADP payroll numbers came in much, much better than expected. What's that mean? That means the economy is good, supposedly, which means it's going to make it tougher for the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell to cut rates, and you see the immediate impact on TLT. TLT down 1%. Oh, I'm showing the wrong stuff. I'm on my phone. I forgot. I got to go to here. There we go. TLT down 1% on this news over here. So not necessarily great for risk assets, right? We've been waiting for this big move in IWM off of lower rates, and now you get hot data in as far as economy, good economy, and we'll see. Hopefully, we get a Goldilocks situation, right, where we have a good, strong economy and inflation data continues to show that it's coming in light, and then we'll be able to lower rates, which is good for small caps in a strong economy. That's like a Goldilocks situation over there. We're waiting for that to happen. However, look, the last few days I've been warning about a potential correction triggered by both the war with what's happening with Israel and now Iran, and the port strike. And I basically postulated that could be an excuse. That could be an excuse to finally get that seasonal pullback that we haven't had this year, right? Everyone talks about that seasonality in September and October, especially in election years. So here we are. By the way, there's also another saying out there: sell on Rosh Hashanah, buy on Yom Kippur. It's tonight, Jewish holiday. I'll be out the next 2 days, but you guys will be covered with Rhett and the Godfather. Rhett, how you doing this morning? Forgot to say hi.
Morning, Ben. Hanging in there. Just battling this cold. So,
all right. Great to see you. So in any case, yeah, I am definitely wary about a possible correction here to the mean moving averages on SPY, QQQ, and now especially IWM. Maybe it moves to the 50-day moving average there at 214.49 with this hot data. But look, I really believe that we have enough catalysts between the war and the port strike and the seasonality and the election to be like, maybe this is not such a great time to be so aggressive in the market. Oh, I see from, hold on a second, in our Discord getting an alert about Joby, Toyota, to invest $500 million. Joby was an old favorite of mine. Let's take a look at Joby. Up 18%. Wow. $500 million. What's the market cap of Joby? $3.5 billion. So that represents like 1/7 of the market cap. You can see the stock is up by about 1/5. So let's see here. It's $5.70. We got the 20 DMA here at 516, the 50 DMA at 526, 200 DMA at 544, candle resistance at 550. What do you have after that candle resistance? Ooh, maybe all the way to this candle resistance at 598. All right, so Joby is going to be on our watch list. Throw it up there. All right, we'll come back to that at the end. Thank you for that alert there from our Discord. What else am I missing? All right. Got to remember while I do this show, news breaks while we do the show. So we'll have to go back and look at the news feed before we finish off the show. But all right, the other things that worked really well yesterday, actually, I want to show you this. Let me just show the Discord real quick. All right, Nike, yesterday and after hours. You see in the top right corner over here at 419. Nike, bad ER, short-worthy, postponed investor day. 83 to 85 targets. The stock was trading at like 88, and then our 83 target hit. So in addition to this pre-market show, you do get this conversation in the chat room in extended hours, and Nike was just beautiful. I couldn't believe it was sitting there right in here for about 20 minutes before this crash. So plenty of time to get into that short idea, and later, after it dropped, I was able to explain to people why I had that conviction. You don't miss on guidance or don't give guidance and then also postpone your investor day and expect not the stock to get killed, right? So the targets were pretty easy. The 83 and the $85. Looks like the 83 was a 20 DMA that I found right there, and it's right below that right now. And 85 must have been a gap. Yeah, this gap candle area right in there was 85. So that was a victory yesterday in our Discord community was Nike. The other thing was USO, man. We were all over USO and gold. Look at this move. In the morning, all right, we were all over that move. When it dipped, we told you to buy the dip, expecting another rip. Here's another rip this morning. Now, those of you who don't know, I think I have a little bit of edge in predicting. I would like to think, at least understanding, not necessarily predicting, but once events happen, understanding the importance of it, because I actually have a very interesting background. I was born in Iran. In fact, I have an Iranian citizenship. And guess what? I'm also Jewish. Very odd, rare combination, probably a lot of you are thinking. The actuality is there was a very, very large Jewish community in Iran for millennia, which got dispersed after the 1979 revolution. And I can't get into everything except to tell you, based on my background knowledge, based on my understanding of people in the Iranian community, even non-Jews, by the way, a lot of Muslims do not like their own country, their own administration. They love their country. They don't like the leadership. And you're probably talking about tens of millions of Muslims in Iran right now who are rooting for Israel to attack them, believe it or not. And that's the truth. And we are in a situation here before the election where I believe Israel is going to take definitive action against Iran. This is how I like to trade stocks, guys. People look at charts and numbers. I look at events and analysis to predict what's going to happen. So we do that all day here at Story Trading. And look, that's my analysis. We'll see. I've been right for the last couple days about the escalations that's been happening. Oil took another big pop in pre-market futures last night because reports coming out that Israel may attack Iran's oil fields. Now, whether that happens or not, I can pretty much guarantee you one thing. There is unprecedented pressure and unprecedented motivation by Israel to take advantage of this window of opportunity before the U.S. election now, to do what they've been talking about doing for 20 years or so, which is taking out the Iranian nuclear program and or taking out Tesla news just hit. We'll look at that in a second. And or taking out the Iranian leadership. And it's really, from their perspective, it's now or never. Pillars are aligned right now. Those 4 pillars: sentiment, catalyst, fundamentals. There's no technicals in geopolitics, but all of that is aligned for Israel to take definitive action. And that's why you're seeing, when you look at our war list, you see USO surging, all right, yesterday, up again 2% this morning. You've seen gold surging. It's down this morning. That may be a buying opportunity, although the hot ADP, lower rates, not as good as gold. That's why you see defense stocks, RTX. These are the top 3, cream of the crop. Okay, RTX Corporation, Northrop Grumman. Look at these stocks, completely surging. Okay, VIX popping, also related to that. This is happening, folks, or at least the sentiment is going to be that it's happening. And that sentiment's not going to leave us overnight. There's going to be a lot of stress and uncertainty and a lot of speculation about what's going to happen next with the war. And a lot of it is going to be speculation of the most severe of consequences. Okay. Man, Joby, I don't have time to trade it. All right. Joby, I do want to trade it. Okay. I got to finish this show because I would love to get a little bit of a position in Joby on that significant news. In fact, you know what? Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. Hey, Rhett, why don't you talk to folks for a little bit while I just buy like 100 shares of Joby or something?
Sounds good. Alrighty. Well, Tesla just released their delivery numbers, so they came directly in line, and they were 460.
Tell folks what you think about the chart and what you think is going to happen today while I do this little trade on Joby.
Pull it up. Zoom out a little. Coming up to a key support level here around, where's this one? It is around 244. So we're getting there. So we got to see what that's going to do.
Okay, here we go.
So around 244.
So here's the daily chart. What are you saying, 244?
I'm looking at the 30-minute right now. So around 244, you have a key support level. So you got to see what it does coming in hot right now around that level.
Let me ask you, if you looked at the numbers, are you sure they're in line, the numbers?
That's what someone released.
If they are in line, I think this is a buying opportunity because the thesis for us. All right. Go ahead and look for that. Make sure that's actually in line. Because the thesis for why we added Tesla had nothing to do with the near term. Oh, I see. It was, 462,890 versus 460,300. This might be a buying opportunity if you have the right time frame. Look, we initiated this both in the long-term portfolio right when the trigger for us was when Powell dropped by 50 basis points. We're like, okay, money flow is going to come back into Tesla. Now you have China. So basically, this is a macro long-term positioning for Tesla that we've been right about. It's been surging since we called it. I don't think delivery numbers for this period that just ended impacts that thesis. So I think this may actually be a buying opportunity. It's very hard to day trade. So I'm not gonna like say, all right, let's day trade this one. But if you're not in this yet, if you want to take a swing or long-term position, all right, I think this is a good buying opportunity. Down 3%. We have targets for you at 270 and 300. Rhett, what do you think of that analysis on Tesla?
I really love that analysis. I agree with you. My insights and thoughts on that are directly in line with yours on the targets. So I definitely think in the for a swing position and allocation that those are likely in the near term and also by the end of this year. So really liking that trade.
Okay, awesome. All right, there we go. That's Tesla. Now, some other news items out we want to talk about. Look, first of all, ASTS has not worked out here the last couple of days, and I'm not calling a day trade on it today. This is a long-term position for me at this point. I sold all of my day and swing positions on this yesterday, only have my long-term core because of that market volatility I was seeing and because of that war dropping below this 50 DMA. I just think you need a catalyst, and that catalyst will come. When it comes, you're going to see a 10-15% move in ASTS. You'll probably see it going back towards our targets of 27 and then 31. But at this point, for any short-term trades, I'd rather wait for that catalyst, buy the gap up. It'll gap up something like 2 to 5%, and it'll end the day up 10 to 15%. That's the next time I want to be in ASTS for a day trade. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I don't know ENVX well. I know it's a highly shorted, very popular like battery stock or something. Some data out there this morning that they're shipping. They started shipping some sort of battery cells to customers from Malaysia. There you go. All right. Where's okay? From its new agility line in Malaysia, beginning. We'll consider that here as we pick our top 5. Then we have RCAT, which really exploded yesterday. A lot of speculation. Does somebody know? Did they win this contract? Or was this moving up as a defense stock? And I don't know the answer to that. I'll tell you, it held up better than the defense stocks at the end of the day when defense stocks were selling off. And I'd also tell you this is not a defense stock yet. It's right now, all of their revenue is a drone revenue for civilian purposes or domestic purposes, not for U.S. defense. They're trying to win a defense contract. So I don't know. I don't know if this move, I really don't know. Okay. There's lots of ways to cut this. I have a core position and I'm waiting for them to win the contract before adding. I don't want to take it. You know how much I was telling people in the Discord, how much money I've lost over the years by trusting management on their predictions of we're going to win a big contract. We're going to win this big contract coming up very soon within the next 30 days. Wow, I've lost so much money on that. So I stopped playing that game a long time ago. I don't play that game anymore. I do have a nice core position because it's fairly valid here, even without the DoD business. But guess what? If they get the DoD business, RCAT could triple in a month, right? So if I have to buy this up in after hours up 20, 30, 40, 50%, I'll do that. I'd rather have less reward, but less risk by waiting for this to be definitive. So RCAT on our radar. In the meantime, is it acting like a defense stock? I don't know. I mean, very impressive strength yesterday. Maybe it's going to run again today, but I just don't have enough conviction on it to say day trade today on RCAT. Okay, but definitely I'm swinging a core position into this possible huge award from the Department of Defense. All right, what else do we have here? All right, oil stocks. I just want to mention, actually, there's also some news on WVE. 1 second. Air came out. Earnings are going to be next Thursday on AHR, so keep that in mind. Wow, oil futures now up 3%. Okay, let's see. So one of the things I'll be looking at is with oil up again, all right, I'm going to throw a couple plays out there for possible day trades. And there's a ton of them, right? Ton of oil companies, but these are the ones that are in our radar that we've been talking about. Oh, that was a nice pickup on Joby while you were talking about Tesla for me. Thank you, Rhett. Got it in like the 570s. That's a powerful catalyst. This is something I might be focused. Toyota's a big name, obviously. $500 million, a lot of money. That's great sentiment. So this is something where the dips can be bought pretty much all day. Sorry, I'm jumping around, but Now I see Joby moving. Let's just look at the levels again. 550, if you're so fortunate to get a pullback to 550, that previous high, I would buy that. That's a buy level, 550 on Joby. And what did I say with the other levels here? Wow, we are really booking, man. We are really moving. We are really moving. I think that the key here is to look for dips and buy the dips today, because technically not at a very clear area for me. $6, maybe some resistance in here. I'm not sure where this can go to the upside. Maybe this is it. Maybe the name of the game here is buying the dips on Joby. All right, so we'll be looking at Joby all day today. So yeah, looking for oil companies. Look at Indo, company I'm not very familiar with, but up 60% yesterday on that move in oil. But oil surging again today. Does that mean we get an additional move in Indo? Maybe. All right. So I got a small speculative position in Indo this morning. Then we have a stable offshore oil company, which could have a move today. No pre-market action. Spread's too big, but that's going to be on my radar for potential day trades by the dips. All right. So we got some oil stocks we're looking at. We got Joby on the Toyota news. We got oil itself we'll be looking at. Gold, a little bit. As far as the war play today, I think I'm actually going to avoid gold because of the ADP jobs data, right? Gold is geopolitical, but more so than geopolitical, it's interest rate driven. All right. So I think I'm going to avoid gold on that. Promise you some other news here on WVE. Okay, 850 by 864. This one's interesting because they raised some money from, was it GlaxoSmithKline? Who was it here? They did an offering, and it's not in this news feed. Where did I see it? Does anyone know the news on? Okay, it was a big pharmaceutical company. Oh, I'll cover TSSI in a second. Ooh, Progressive. Wow. Do we have TSSI's number? All right, but anyway, they did an offering the other day, $8, and it turns out a big pharmaceutical company bought a chunk of that. It's not in this feed. It must have been in some other feed. All right, go take a look at that. But WVE is going to be in play. TSSI. Well, if you've been in our Discord, you got our sell call at $7.25. Okay. So, and not only that, you got our buy call at
around 275.
And the entire way. We have a video or videos out on that. We didn't have it in our studio to play before the show, but in any case, it was 275. So 275. And not only did we give you the target of 725, but we told you exactly how it would get there. We're like, we're going to have a rapid re-rating from 275 to $5. It'll consolidate at $5 and then have a second leg up to 725. Crazy. And that was predicted based on a combination of technicals and fundamentals, putting it all together. Not only that, also on sentiment, and predicting the market psychology behind how far are other investors going to be willing to push this price until the next earnings report. The all-time high was 725. If you took the 6 cents of earnings they had and annualize it to 24 cents and slap a 20 PE on that, that's about $5. Those were my two areas. See, I did that. All right. So $5 and then 725 were my two guideposts for prices. And I made this the additional assessment that I do not think that the rest of the market is going to be willing to push this above in a sustained way, above that all-time high of 725 until they see another earnings report. That's why we called that sell. And then in our community right here on September 30th, probably around 2 p.m., we said TSSI is about to make a big move in either direction. I said, I don't know which direction, but you have the context of why I thought 725 was the peak, but it's about to make a big move. That was just based on, okay, something just happened with RCAT. I see in our Discord. What's the alert in the Discord? Hold on 1 second. RCAT, what's going on? Hold on. All right. In our Discord, didn't I just get an alert that said getting hammered? Who is that? Oh, getting Shaka. I don't know what he's talking about. Something's getting hammered. Oh, Tesla. Okay, he was saying Tesla's getting hammered. We have great for talking about hit mass production. I feel like the DoD is truly understood. People are speculating about RCAT. Went long on the dip. Yes, okay. People talking about Joby. All right, and then okay. Very good. All right. So, man, we're taking a lot of time here. Let's start wrapping this up. Look at USO surging into the open. All right. So, I think I want a couple oil plays on my radar. I want Joby on my radar. We're not playing Nike. Not today, NIO. All right, we got some big moves out of that. Still within our range. I give you a $7 to $9.50 strike range here. Trading range, the new trading range for NIO as a long-term trade, $7 to $9.50. All right, we're not going to chase the gap up as a day trade today on this one. Tesla, not a day trade today, but I think you can buy the dip for longer term on this. A little bit of news out on AIoT. Let's throw this up to the top as well. This is a Godfather pick here in a community. By the way, if you're not following the Godfather, go ahead and do that at S Mantle, SMANTEL, S Mantle. He gives us lots of great picks in the community. He's been very good. He's very good at execution. Also, steady Eddie, right? Keeping me in check a little bit yesterday while I was going crazy about the war. But in any case, follow S Mantle. He has some great ideas. And if you want to get into our Discord community, he has got some special links and offers that you can find through his bio to join our community. Oh, and there's our storytrading.com/Discord. All right. So AIoT, this is a Godfather favorite. Catalyst, last night, acquisition close. This acquisition looks very creative. It makes the stock look very cheap. I don't know it well. Godfather knows the stock well, but oftentimes when you see a deal finally close, that's when you get the movement for whatever reason. It makes no sense to me because the chances of a deal not going through are very low. But that's the reality of how the markets work, draws back more attention to it. AIoT closed this inflection point deal, what seems to be a big deal for them. Plus, they announced some non-dilutive financing, it looks like this morning. So AIoT might be in play. Okay. All right. Pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about here. As gold is surging into the open as well a little bit. So, Rhett, out of everything we spoke about here, what speaks to you the most?
What speaks to me the most, I would probably say, is going to be probably one of the oil plays, I'd assume.
One of the oil plays. All right. Well,
because nothing else is really sticking out to me.
Okay. Well, okay. We're gonna have at least one oil play in the top 5. But all right. So I think we're definitely gonna have Joby and an oil play in the top 5. So we got Joby. Let's put 2 oil plays in the top 5, Indo and SOC. All right. What else can we put in here? I said I don't want to do NIO as a trade. Don't want to do Tesla as a trade. I'm not sure how I feel about ENVX because IWM is down. This is a risk asset. Actually, I don't even know if I have 5 picks today. Just 2 or 3. So we have Joby, 2 oil plays, AIoT, maybe. Got to collaborate more in our Discord to find out what the Godfather thinks about that. And I don't know, Progressive, did I answer your question about TSSI? All right, I'm still in it, by the way, for a long term. But our trade position, I decreased my trade allocation, sold my trade allocation to 725. I'm not in a hurry to buy back the stock here. All right, I'm going to have some patience. I think October is going to be volatile. Maybe we can get a much lower entry on TSSI. Okay. Yeah, man, look, I don't really see anything I'm loving here for today besides Joby and oil. Is that crazy? Do we want to add something else to it?
No, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, so.
All right, so I'll have up here, I'm going to throw these other ones that have catalysts, say these other small caps. All right, we'll collaborate in our Discord. We'll collaborate in our Discord to see if something else pops up. Okay, we got, by the way, we did have one losing pick yesterday. It was, Holo. Holo didn't work out. I was looking for like a sleeper China play. Looks like the better sleeper microcap Shitco China play looks like it's been JFU, which also the Godfather has been all over. JFU up 18% this morning. But all right, looks like it's going to be Joby and a couple oil plays, Indo, SOC, maybe USO itself. All right, and then we'll be watching AIoT and Wave and NVEX. We'll be watching these RCAT, but not really recommending them at the current moment for a day trade. All right, that's about it. We got a nice big crowd here again today, close to 400 folks. We're not going to be doing this show every day for free. We may be doing it throughout the month of October. My schedule is really broken up this month for personal reasons. So doing a few free shows this month. Tomorrow and Friday, we will continue to have the show. Rhett is going to spearhead that show, and I got a couple special recorded messages for you guys the next 2 days that you can take a look at also. So if you want to be part of our Discord and collaborate with the full team and all of our members, it's storytrading.com/Discord. Rhett, are there any coupon codes available for these guys?
Yeah, so they can join for the first month using code ROCKET, and it's going to be $19.95 for the first month.
ROCKET. Code ROCKET 1995. You can cancel at any time. And watch us. We're going to be back on at 11 a.m. actually today. 2 public shows. A lot of energy, folks. 11 a.m. on Benzinga. All right, so follow us or Benzinga on X. You'll see us at 11 a.m. with an update. Good luck, everyone. Take care.